Thanks for tuning in to this latest weather briefing on March 14th, 2018. This is Alex Tardy, meteorologist. Alright, we've finally seen some wet weather across Southern California, and we're expecting more. The next two systems are expected to be colder as well, which will bring some snow to our high elevations. This briefing will take a look at the next two weather systems and an outlook. And here's a look at the weather threats table. Primarily for Thursday morning commute, the showers will be affecting the urban areas with a little bit of mountain snow as well. And then for the Saturday period, we're looking at a similar pattern with urban areas getting rain in the morning hours and night hours, as well as the snow in the mountains. And then next week, we look to perhaps late Tuesday into Wednesday for potential moderate impacts. So we saw some significant rainfall over the past 24 hours, as you can see on this map here. On the left-hand side, you can see most of the valley locations were light, generally under 1/10 of an inch to locally around 1/4 of an inch. But the mountains really squeezed out the moisture as the wind pushed up against the coastal slopes. We had amounts anywhere from 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches, and even locally 2 inches right up by Running Springs, a very wet location with the southwesterly flow. Now over San Diego County, you can see what happened here. We had widespread rainfall last night and even early this morning during the commute, and the heaviest rain was up near San Marcos and Escondido, where we had a little bit over 1/4 of an inch. And then over the mountain regions, squeezed out a little bit more, close to 1/2 inch as you got up by Julian and down towards Mount Laguna. Metro San Diego didn't do as well. They had less than 1/10 of an inch for this particular storm. All right, what's the satellite look like today, March 14th? We see another storm system rapidly approaching from the west-northwest. The first X you see entering central California. Then further upstream, we have another storm system. Both of these storms are colder, so the very high snow levels we've seen so far this week will come down significantly tonight and then again Friday night. We aren't looking at a big subtropical tap. You can see that moisture has been pushed further south into the Baja, Mexico region, but we have a little bit more energy and cold air with these storms to squeeze out some good precipitation. Here's what it looks like on the weather map for tonight and Thursday morning. This will bring the lower snow levels. As you see all those lines, those are differences in temperature in the air mass. And as that descends further south, that'll bring in a cold front and the colder air, and also drive out the precipitation. The amounts we're expecting tonight through Thursday morning are shown here. And you can see generally 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 inch for coastal and valley locations. But in our foothills, we'll squeeze out more, 1/2 inch in most of the foothills, and up to 1 inch or 1.5 inches in some of our mountain locations as depicted here. A little bit of spillover into our deserts, not so much the high deserts, but maybe into our lower deserts as the trajectory of the storm comes in from the west-northwest. Do want to emphasize the snow levels, and we'll give those amounts here. It looks like we'll see anywhere from a trace to 2 inches up in our mountain community areas, Big Bear, Wrightwood, and Running Springs. Now up in our ski resorts, we could see several inches of snow, as noted here in the blue colors, and even over our peaks up around 6 inches. That gets you up around 8,000 feet or so. That's tonight through Thursday. Now, wind gusts are also going to be a concern for our passes. This storm is a little further south, so that temperature gradient has dropped further south. You get a little more wind coming in from the west, and that's going to go through our mountain passes and over the ridges as shown here. So stronger winds for our high deserts. These are peak wind gusts expected, 40-50 miles per hour. Getting down close to Palm Springs, but not right in Palm Springs, but hitting some of our locations such as Borrego Springs and even our ridges like Mount Laguna and Mount San Jacinto. Now for our coast and valleys, it'll be breezy, but not strong winds in those areas. All right, the forecast precipitation totals for the next system, this will be for Friday evening through Saturday. That's our next storm. Looks like the rain will begin early Friday evening and especially Friday night during the dark hours. We can see kind of a repeat, another tenth to a quarter, most locations. Parts of San Diego County Valley seeing up to a ½ inch, as well as parts of the Inland Empire near the foothills. And again, squeezing out a little bit more up to around 1 inch of new water for our mountains, and then a little spillover into our lower deserts. Snow levels, well, this will be again lower, and maybe even a tad lower than what we saw Wednesday night and Thursday morning. So Friday night driving and Saturday morning driving, do note that some of the higher mountain passes going up to Big Bear will see some fresh snow. And finally, for storm number 2, here's a look at the forecast snowfall amounts. Generally 1 to 3 inches for the mountain communities of San Bernardino County and Riverside. And then up near the highest elevations and the ski resorts, we're looking at 3 to 6 inches of snow for storm number 2. Here's what the pattern looks like. The cold air doesn't make it all the way down like we saw in late February, but we get a glancing blow of the cold air as the jet stream sags across Southern California Friday night and Saturday. It does look like our showers will wind down Saturday night, so we could squeeze out a nice day for the most part on Sunday. But it does look quite wet for Friday night and Saturday, and lots of showers lingering into the day on Saturday. Here's the regional outlook and precipitation, kind of the general scope. You can see our mountain areas with the 2 storms getting up around 2 inches. Our valley areas anywhere from a ½ to as much as locations in San Diego County and parts of the Inland Empire up around 1 inch when you add the 2 storms together. A little bit less when you see down the coastal areas, ½ inch or less, and then also in our desert areas. So kind of climatological storms where the normal wetter spots going to get more showers. And those include areas like northern San Diego County and then our coastal slopes. How about another storm? Well, the potential exists for a stronger, wetter storm next week. We're looking at the time frame of Tuesday, Wednesday. There's been some model differences. This is kind of the average of a whole set of models, so not one particular model, which is more important to look at this far out. And you can see it's looking pretty good. This potentially could bring significant rain and some significant mountain snow as well as it slowly moves through next week, Tuesday and Wednesday. Thanks for tuning in. Check out weather.gov San Diego for the latest forecasts updated throughout the day on the point-and-click map, the current conditions and observations, and lots of other maps and graphs for forecast or even past weather data. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter for the latest breaking news. Thanks again.